everybody, today here, and welcome to my review of the Transformers Golden Disc Collection Deluxe Class Jackpot. Now, full disclosure up front, I was not planning on getting this guy, but a reviewer by the name of That Toy Guy, highly recommend, by the way, awesome channel, he did a review of this guy, and I watched it, and man, this guy just kind of sparked an interest for me, and I started watching a bunch of other reviews for this guy as they came out, as people were getting it, I started watching reviews for this guy, and I just started to really want this figure. So I did eventually go ahead and order it. It did take a while to get to me. It wasn't like an instant ship like it was for a lot of people, but I got him yesterday, and I am overall pretty satisfied with him. But real quick before we get into the figure, let's take a look at the packaging real quick. We have some nice picture of a little bit of the golden disc right there. If you get all 4 of the figures, you'll be able to make the full golden disc. I'm not sure if I'll be getting all 4 of them. I will be getting Terror Store because I've had him pre-ordered for months now, but I'm not sure if I'll be getting any more. Besides that, here's the back. The car mode, robot mode, comes with a little repaint of Terexodon right there to match sights from him, and let's go ahead and use that to transition in to the character Jackpot, who is actually an Action Master character. He is an Action Master character, and I have absolutely no nostalgia for Action Masters or anything like that, but one thing I gotta say about this guy that definitely played a part in me wanting him was that they took a ton of liberties they took a ton of time in making this guy as accurate as possible to the Action Master, to the point where he honestly just, I look at the Action Master and then I look at him. I don't own it, but I've seen, looking at pictures of the Action Masters, you look at that one, and you look at this guy, he literally just looks like an upgraded version of the Action Masters that can transform. Like, he literally looks perfect. Everything to the T is pretty much perfect on this guy. The only things that aren't perfect on him, the only thing that's not perfect on him is that the Action Master had a split in the arms where it was half yellow and half black, so it did have that, and I believe it also had the wheels, instead of right here, it had them on the sides. But honestly, if you took a quick glance at the Action Master and then at this guy, you would honestly be hard-pressed to find anything that's wrong with him. Like, they did so much. They painted these bits orange, they painted his midriff red right there. That was such an amazing touch right there, that they painted that red to match the Action Master. Really, really impressive, and they did, of course, give him a brand new head sculpt. Now, this head sculpt does bring in the major problem with this figure that I'm sure you've heard talked about in length, so I'm not going to spend too much time wasting your time on it, but yes, the head is a little funky on this figure. As you can see there, it is a little funky. Now, I really do think that if you bought some silver paint and you just get a little bit of, and you just did a little floop right there, and you made sure just to get it right there, you could probably get rid of that black seam right there, and I'm sure it would look absolutely fine. And to be honest, I think mine is actually quite a bit better. I think I actually did get a little bit luckier with mine as opposed to a lot of other people. Mine seems to be pretty good. You can still see there is a bit of a raise on this side right there, but it doesn't seem all that bad. And like I said, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to grab a little tube of silver paint, and I'm probably just going to go and try and get that and just try and take care of that black seam right there, and that should make him look pretty much perfect. Or honestly, I might not even bother, but you know, whatever. But overall, I think they did a really great job in updating this Action Master character into an actual Transformer. Now, of course, this figure, if you can't tell already, is a repaint and a retool of Studio Series Jazz, a figure that I have recently absolutely fallen in love with. I absolutely adore Studio Series Jazz. I didn't play with him for the longest time when I got him because I was worried about his backpack breaking and whatnot, but honestly, this is one of the best deluxes I have ever bought. Honestly, this is still one of my favorite figures of the year, and I absolutely love him. So the fact that he's a remold of this figure, and honestly, there's aspects of him that are better than Jazz, but there's also aspects of him that are worse than Jazz, and to get into a few of those, Jazz definitely is much easier to play with, definitely, because this guy his tolerances are a little bit better. Now, you would think that's a good thing, and yeah, they are pretty much a good thing, but, you know what, actually, no, the tolerances are all a good thing, but there is an issue I do have with this guy, and it's that his head is a little bit bigger and very different from Jazz. You can see his head is a little bit bigger than Jazz, and it makes transforming him a little bit more difficult than Jazz. And also, I've noticed that this midriff piece is actually a little bit funky compared to Jazz. As you can see, Jazz's is pretty much perfect. It's pretty much straight on there, but Jackpot's midriff section, you can kind of see is a little bit funky. It's a little bit difficult to show you on camera, but I promise you, if you take my word for it, there is a little bit of funkiness going on with the midriff section to where it's actually kind of going up a little bit more more on this side, which is unfortunate. Now that might just be my copy, but it is something I wanted to point out. Another thing is that on Jazz here, of course, a big problem that people have with Jazz is that the leg untabbed very easily, and yes, it does. It's a very annoying thing, and he kind of just untabs whenever he wants to. That's not really a problem on Jackpot here. Jackpot actually tabs in place and holds in there quite nicely. So in that regard, he is an upgrade over Jazz. So they both have their pros and cons. I don't think either of them are better than the other because, once again, they both have their pros and cons. Overall, I think that Jazz is a little more fun to pose around and transform, and I think I don't know. I think Jazz is definitely more fun to transform, but Jackpot might be a little more fun to pose around. So there is that. Now, getting into the accessories, of course, this being the Jazz mold, you do get a repaint of the Jazz gun. Very cool, just like Jazz. You can plug it in his hand right there. Looks fine. Or you can plug it into his back, just like that for storage. And, of course, this is an upgrade. This is an update on Jackpot, who originally came with his partner, Sights. So I guess that's the thing with Action Masters. Once again, I have no experience with Action Masters whatsoever. But he did come with Sights, and this is a repaint, remold of Taraxodon, which is a good thing, because Taraxodon is hands down, no questions asked, my favorite Battle Master. I absolutely love Taraxodon, and he is the exact same figure as Taraxodon to a T. The only thing that is different about him is that he does not have any paint on him. He is just solid blue and black. And when you factor in the price that this guy is pretty much the price of a standard deluxe, and you get basically a free Action Master with him, I don't think you can really get mad at that for not having some paint on this guy, because this guy is pretty much the same price as a standard deluxe. They really did not bump up the price at all on this guy, which is really amazing to me. So yeah, very, very cool. You can see the differences there. Now, obviously, it works the same way as a Taraxodon, so you have the bird mode, then you flip everything in right there. You can just close him up like that for a little storage mode, and if you wanted to, you could totally just plug him onto the back of Jackpot for storage right there if you wanted to. And you, of course, have this handle right there, which you can fold out to make him an axe, so you can have that going on, or you can plug him in like this and make him a blaster. Now, the original Sights was a blaster, not an axe, so you might want to go with that, but you can totally do anything you want, and hell, if you wanted to, hell freaking give him 2 axes and have him go to town on some Decepticons. That is pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. I'm really glad that they did Taraxodon, because he is just one of my absolute favorite Battle Masters. I've always really liked Taraxodon. So there you have that. Now, you do also the blast effect that came with Taraxodon in an orange. However, I seem to have misplaced it, which is pretty sad considering I've had this guy for less than a day. But I do have the original one that came with Taraxodon, so it's just going to be this but orange. So just keep that in mind, that when you get yours, it will be orange, and it's around here somewhere, and I'll find it. It's just not that big a deal, and it just plugs into the side there just like that, and it allows him to get kind of a shockwave deal going on here. Not a shockwave as in like the Decepticon, but like have him like do this like freaking Reinhardt's ultimate from Overwatch. I just referenced Overwatch in 2021. Oh my god, I'm a brave soul, ain't I? But yeah, there you go. You can kind of get some pretty cool poses just like that, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, overall, I really dig Jackpot. I like Sights. I think Sights is pretty cool. In fact, I probably like him a little more than Taraxodon, because I like the colors a little bit more. Taraxodon is great though. Yeah, it's pretty cool that you can give him the gun, you can give him the axe, or you can just make him his little sidekick, just like he is in the Action Master days. So it's very cool, and if you want to, you can give him his gun. And yeah, overall, very cool set if you ask me. Now, for comparison, here's another shot of him with Jazz, so you can see how they have repainted this guy and the difference between the head sculpts right there. So just one last shot with him and Jazz. And here he is with a fellow Action Master update, Mainframe right there. Of course, Mainframe is not painted like the original Action Master, so he's not a completely faithful recreation like Jackpot here, but it's still a pretty cool thing right there. And lastly, here he is with Exhaust, and yeah, pretty... I wanted to show these together because Exhaust is one of my favorite figures that's kind of like this guy, where it's like a repaint of an already good figure that is like a really obscure character that I really wouldn't care about in any way, but I bought anyway. These guys are pretty much in the same vein for me, and yeah, I kind of like the idea of maybe these guys being like arch enemies or something, because, you know, you got an Autobot, we have a Decepticon here. I mean, I'm just making this up on the spot, dude. Like, I'm not freaking saying this is anything real, but hey, man, this could be kind of cool to make these guys guys like arch enemies or something like that, just because these are definitely two very obscure characters that I just bought, and I really, really like these two figures, so yeah. Now, obviously, Jackpot is a remold of Jazz, so he has the exact same transformation as Jazz. And here you have Jackpot in his car mode, and it is just a yellow and black and orange version of Jazz, but it looks sweet in my opinion. I think it looks very, very cool. We got an Autobot logo right there, silver for the bumper, some orange picked out for the headlights right there, the transclearant plastic right there. Transclearant isn't a word, but I say it anyway. Very, very cool. You got some yellow right there. I mean, he looks really good, man. I really, really love the way this guy looks. Got some nice yellow down there. Is that even on? Is that even on Jazz? Yeah, see? There wasn't even paint picked out for that bit on Jazz. But Jackpot here, he has got some nice paint right there on that door part back here. You got the orange on the feet right there, the spoiler. Very nice, very nice. I mean, I love Jazz's alt mode. I love the Jazz figure in general. So yeah, of course I like this alt mode too, but it looks very, very good. Mine is a little bit crooked, but yeah, and it rolls absolutely phenomenally, obviously. Rolls like a dream. If I had, there we go. I just didn't have everything clicked in place, but there you go. Rolls like an absolute dream. Perfect clearance right there. Really an awesome vehicle mode. Now, just like with Jazz, like I showed in my Jazz review, I've discovered a great way to store his gun is to flip his feet down here, plug the gun into the foot, and then bring it back up like that, and you can store the gun on his foot right there, which I really, really like. That's my preferred way. And as for sights here, obviously you could just have him sitting off to the side, or you could, of course, fold him up, and what I would recommend doing is to fold his bird head forward, and that will allow you to plug him in just like that, so he can be like flying above Jackpot right there. So they're like partners right there. So that is pretty cool. So you can have all of that stored right there, which is very cool. Or if you wanted to completely fold up Jackpot, sights, you could totally do that as well. So there you go. There you have Jackpot's car mode. Now, I will say, I've heard people go on record saying that the Studio Series 86, when they review this guy, they say things like, the Studio Series 86 Jazz mold is infamous for breaking. Personally, I wouldn't go that far. I really have not seen very, very many people come forward and say that their Jazz broke. Mine, it still is absolutely perfect. Maybe it might have the teeniest, tiniest little crack right there, but I don't think it's gonna matter at all in the grand scheme of things. It's really not that big a deal. I'm sure there have been some people breaking, but at the end of the day, guys, it's a Transformer. It's a mass-produced toy. There's no universe where every single toy, every single copy of a toy has no QC problems. So saying that this mold is infamous for breaking just because a few people had it break on them, that's not really fair in my opinion. So yes, that is something I just wanted to throw out there real quick. Now, for comparison, here he is with Studio Series 86 Jazz right there. So once again, you can see he is basically the same figure, just with a new snazzy paint job. There we go. He's a bit of a better look. My lights were kind of fucking with it. So there you have that. And here he once again is with exhausts. So you can see how they look together and how he looks with another Carbot. And also here's Studio Series Beetle Bumblebee as well. So there you go. So final thoughts on Jackpot, the Golden Gist Collection Jackpot. I really like this guy, actually. I really like this guy. I absolutely love the Jazz mold. It is just an absolutely phenomenal mold that I've just grown to absolutely love. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, he does improve on the Jazz mold. You know, tabbing the legs in much more securely is really nice. The fact that they didn't bump the price on this guy up at all, he's still the price of a standard deluxe, even with sights here, which is really nice. The head issue is certainly an issue, but I really don't think it's that big a deal. I really do think this one little flick of silver paint would totally fix that black seam up right there and make him look a lot better. And as an upgrade to an Action Master figure, they did a splendid job with this guy, man. I love all of the attention to detail that they've done with updating this guy, including like all of the key details of the Action Master have been carried over into this figure, such as the red midriff or the orange bits in the legs and the feet right there. So overall, I think this guy is an absolute win. He is available right now on Amazon. You won't even need to worry about like mine took a little bit to get here, but I do believe it's actually in stock now, along with the Road Ranger and Puffer 2-pack. Haven't decided if I'm gonna go for that Road Ranger and Puffer 2-pack. I don't know. I kind of just want to get Huffer and Pipes. I don't know if I really care about them, but I do really like Jackpot here, and I do think he is worth the pickup. So yeah, I'll go ahead and hit the Golden Disc Collection Jackpot here with a nice solid A. Just an A, because he does have his issues. You know, the head thing is definitely an issue, and this mold does have its minor little qualms, like the fact that transforming the backpack is not the most pleasant thing to do, but it's still very doable, and overall the mold is absolutely fantastic if you ask me. So there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like, subscribe for more Transformer content in the future. And with that being said, this is TK Guillotine, signing out.